Lynn
There we
Marie,
go.
Lynn Marie's down. Let's go ahead and do your spiel here.
Okay, here, I'll do the spiel. So, welcome everyone to the March 18th, 2026 meeting of the MLP board. And I'm Gail Huntress, MLP manager, facilitating the meeting. This meeting is fully remote. Participating also remotely, we have a full house today with MLP board members Jim Hemingway, Graham Sefton, Steve Schmidt, and community member at large Craig Martin. Welcome, everyone. Um,
Thanks.
Yeah, so let's see. Let's first approve the minutes from February 18th as amended.
So
Thank
moved.
thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
Th- Thank you. All in favor?
Uh,
Hemingway,
Aye.
Schmidt,
Aye.
and Sefton.
Aye.
Excellent. Thank you. Um, all right, so I'll jump in with the news. We had although it was a major break, it wasn't a major outage because it was the end of the line down in the January Hills area with a windstorm. So a tree came down, it took out a whole utility pole. This is the area that's covered by Eversource. And so they were the ones to respond to the electrical thing. Um, uh, whole January Hills number 9 onwards was affected, so it was just beyond Craig's house. Luckily, it was, like I said, total end of our line. So only a handful of customers were affected by the initial outage. They did find a break in the line, and so they had to replace about 1,000-foot section. And then 24, 25 customers were affected by that, the replacement that happened today. So not the initial outage, but in the fixing, they had to take some people offline. So everything's fixed. Shell, as usual, did a fantastic job responding. They let me know what happened. I asked them to do best efforts to get in touch with the people who are out to let them know, like, we know this is happening and we're on it. They were prepared to do an all night, like an overnight fix. And I said, it's 3 customers. Don't do it. Just come back in the morning. It's okay. So, generally it's about 10 to 12 customers. Then we do an all night fix, but with such a small number, I said, don't have the crews out there on a windy, dark night and having us pay double overtime, et cetera, et cetera.
Good
Um,
call. Yep.
Yep.
Mhm.
So yeah, that was the excitement. Craig, anything to add? I know Craig's traveling, so he didn't see all
Yeah,
this happen,
I
but
didn't get to see it in person, so I don't have much to add. No,
don't know.
my
Um,
smoke
Yeah.
detector was out for a couple hours for some reason,
oh,
but
interesting.
the whole house is on backup generator, so I don't know why the smoke detector didn't like it.
Hmm.
I'll have to ask my electrician someday if it's on a special circuit or something.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Anyway,
Hmm.
Craig, is it because your smoke detector couldn't talk to the internet when they were fixing the whole line, or did you not suffer from that outage?
as far as I could tell, I didn't suffer. I was able to talk to my other devices.
Okay, okay,
I
that,
can't really talk to my smoke detector, but like I have a
yeah.
couple of cameras in the house and I could
Yeah,
access them.
yeah.
So we
And
had internet.
smoke detectors are boring things to talk to most of the time.
No,
So yeah.
right, exactly. So we had internet for sure. I don't know. I can't tell you we had it absolutely continuously, but we had it every time I checked.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
hmm,
All right. Well, yeah. So that was our excitement. I mean, with all of the snow and the weather that we've had this winter, we were extremely lucky, I think, that this was our only major incident. Um,
yeah,
and it's going to be very expensive.
yeah.
Knowing what happened, knowing how long the crews are on site, but still not a insurance triggerable action. So
So when you said they
again,
replaced the section, that was the fiber, not the power lines. They replaced
Correct.
the
I
section of
have no idea
fiber?
what they did. I don't know what happened with the power lines, but yeah, it was
Okay,
our
okay.
fiber that needed the replacement.
So that was 2 splices then, presumably.
Yes. Yep, about a
Yeah.
1,000 feet. And since
Mhm.
it was the end of the line, at the end of like a 96 strand, they
Yeah.
they only replaced it with a 24 strand
Oh,
because they're like, well, we don't need to run a 96 all the way to the end. There's not enough, you know,
yep.
residences down there. They
Yeah,
were just going to
good.
do like a 12, and I said, we have empty lots. You need to do you need to do, enough so that
Yep.
we're not stuck later. So
Good, good.
yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
they would probably only had to splice one end then if it was a dead
Mhm.
end.
No, it was near the end of the line. It wasn't the end of the
Oh,
line.
oh, okay.
Right? Is that right?
Um, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't
If
know. My
if
understanding is that um it broke, and then we had those three customers beyond it, but then
Hmm.
more of it had to be replaced. So um yeah, I
if
don't.
they did 1,000 feet, they did about 4 poles worth. It probably means they went from an existing splice case to an existing splice case on either side
Mm,
of the break. That
That
would
that makes
be
sense. A
that would
splice
yeah.
case was mentioned, Graham. So
Okay, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And then they don't have to find new splice cases, and it's better not to put additional splice cases in if you don't have to. So, so it saves some money and loses some money. So,
Okay.
but it's smarter to just go what's there, replace it. And that was good. They didn't need to take 96 there, but it was good that you asked for an extra 12 so that because when you get to the end of the line, as we know, you can end up needing more beyond.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So refresh me, Graham, when you say that all a splice case is it's a point where two fibers meet and that it needs a special protective kind of wrapping for that meeting of two fiber lines
there
that have to
are,
come together.
yes, there are those boxes that we see up on the lines that are bigger than the MSTs, and in those, yeah, at least 2 cables meet. Sometimes 3 cables meet. Sometimes 5 cables meet. It depends, but it just makes sense to. It often makes sense. Like you suggested, it is possible you can put in a new splice case in the middle of a break section, but it's there's good reasons to just replace a whole section.
Yeah. Fiber's not that expensive.
Yes, exactly right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I was going to cover this later, but since we're rolling on it, I'm just going to do it, and we'll come back to the hut report. So while I was talking to Lee, I said, since you have to replace something, can you? We have surplus fiber up at the town barn. Like, can you use that maybe here? And he said, I really, if you want these customers back and you want this done quickly, I really can't fiddle with doing that and getting up there. And I said, okay, forget about it.
Sure.
Um,
Sure.
but I said, I'd like to use those because they're just, sitting there. Can we get them in stock or something? And so we talked about it for a little while. Graham, I know you did that great inventory a while ago and labeled things. So I sent him the list of here's what we have up there. Um, he ran out of time today, but he is gonna next time he's in town, go take a look at that of what we have. I'm inclined to take the whole mess of fiber and just donate it to Sheld because
Sure.
every time we're not expanding our network any, the rolls are just disintegrating. They've already been sitting in the weather for nearly 7 years, and once the wooden rolls disintegrate, they're
Oh, the
useless. We're
rolls.
just like they're just
Yeah.
sitting there. We're not going to use them in emergency because it's too much for the crews to have to go up there, find the roll, handle it, figure out like what surplus can we cobble together here. And they're just going to turn into town landfill trash.
Yeah. It's a good idea.
yeah,
Great
Yeah,
idea.
you
Yeah.
all okay with that? It's
yeah,
again, it's all
Oh,
like bits and
yeah.
bobs of okay,
Yeah.
great.
yeah.
All
Yes,
right.
it
I'm
has
thinking
it.
for a crew to go out and use that, they're going to have to take the truck that's got the lift thing to to lift the whole reel up so they can roll off what they need and cut it, yeah. So I can see it's not suitable for um, emergency use in its current state.
Yeah.
You might
No.
want to you might want to go to the town admin and just ask if there's any formal paperwork you have to do to declare this of no value or something like that. So we're not
Yeah.
accused of
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
living
That's
in
that's a
the
good.
living in the government
Yeah.
world. I worry about,
Yeah.
oh, someone's going to say you
Yeah.
were,
Yeah. Yeah. Good suggestion. But yeah,
Thanks.
as you say, the reels will only last, 5 or 10 years before they rot away. The cable is good for 30, 40.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's get rid of it before the reels before it turns into a liability for trash to get rid of. It'll be
right?
landfill. And so there's the argument in the memo to the books, you can just say
Yeah.
this is to save money in the long run.
Exactly.
Yeah, because getting rid of that is going to cost us money and just like I don't.
Landfill. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some they should use it. Like somebody should use this. It's
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Is Sheld eager to accept this?
Don't know yet. Lee needs to go up and take a look at it.
Okay.
So, if he, yeah, what I'm hoping is he'll say like, yeah, we can put this to use, and then he'll just take it. If he doesn't, I'm going to ask for suggestions about like anywhere else we could donate this, because really, it's going to become our trash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just going to be,
Are there any towns in Western Mass that are still doing builds?
WGE surely is still sometimes putting stuff out, building stuff. But yeah, Holyoke certainly is still expanding their edges. But
Yeah,
Really?
I mean, everyone's
yeah,
kind of building. So I think that if he doesn't want it, I can just put out a call to, well, it doesn't do much good to put it out to our neighbors because that's all Sheld and Westfield, right?
Right.
Like there's no other
Right.
yeah,
providers, but like,
yeah,
asking like Shrewsbury and some of the other municipal networks, does anybody want this?
yeah.
I can,
Westfield might, yeah,
Um,
Westfield might be interested.
Greenfield, maybe.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Except that, yeah,
maybe, yeah.
they sounded a little chaotic in their, uh,
Yep.
in that article.
Okay. Great. All right. I will work on that. All right. We've also had some excitement at the hut recently, in addition to the break. Graham, do you want to cover their
Yeah,
adventures?
so maybe it was last week. It's a little while back anyhow. As a lot of you know, because you all get the smoke alarm, the Simply Safe email that told us that the alarm was in. It was the hut was above 80 degrees, and so so initially because I went up there after dinner because the alarm was continuing. I thought the hut would cool off when it was a hot day, and I thought, oh well, when the sun sets, it'll cool off a little, but it didn't. So I went up there after dinner, and sure enough, the heat pump that was running had just gone crazy. So that is the north, the north heat pump and I could see on the power monitor thing that I have that it was totally taking a lot of power. It wasn't blowing any cold air. So I turned it off and I turned on the other unit, and and Gail uh, knew that she would be getting service for that unit, at earliest case. So a few hours later, so I'm going to bed at 10 o'clock. Another alarm comes in. Well, the phone rings and it's Simply Safe phoning this time, which didn't happen with the heat alarm. And they say there's a smoke detector going off in the hut. I said, oh, I said, can you look at the video and tell me whether there's smoke that visually? And they said, no, can't do that. So they offered to cancel the dispatch and I thought, oh well, I'll be going up to the hut just to let someone in. I didn't dare cancel a dispatch for a smoke detector that I thought might have smoke in the hut. So anyhow, I just headed up for the hut, and sure enough, and they didn't cancel dispatch. So sure enough, when I got there, the fire chief and his one fire truck was there, and it just got there, and they were trying to get into the back of the town hall because they had a one Cooleyville, alarm, and I kind of pointed at the hut, to tell them, because there was, I don't know, a fair bit anyhow, I went into the hut, I opened the hut. As soon as I put in the code on the keypad, the smoke detector was screaming. But as soon as I put in the keypad pin, it turned off. So that was interesting to discover that it resets the smoke just by putting that. I could have done that from home just out of interest. And when I looked at the before I left home, I did look at the video of Inside the Dark Hut, which is an infrared picture. As some of you might know, when you look at you can just look at the
Yeah.
camera image, and and I kind of vaguely knew, well, that's not a very good picture because it's infrared and infrared sees through smoke. So I figured I didn't really know much about whether there was smoke in the hut from looking at the camera. And likewise, the Simply Safe guy was unwilling to make a call on that either. And you can understand why. Yeah, if the place burns down and they've made a call on their being safe, then they don't want to do that. So let the fire people in, and I had already turned off the smoke alarm by putting in the pin, and it didn't start smoking again. Number one, or it didn't do another alarm, and so we hung out for a while. Lenny and his lieutenant. We chatted for a bit. Nothing else happened. Um, Lenny suggested that it would be good to have a flashing light on the outside of the hut, if in fact the thing at One Cooleyville Road is the hut in alarm. And I said, we'd look into that. I see Simply Safe does have a flashing light, a bell alarm they call it or something, but it's Wi-Fi, and getting a Wi-Fi signal through the concrete walls doesn't necessarily work very reliably. But you could do you could get around that. So
On that
maybe
on that short of on that short of distance, you don't think it'll get through?
it might, but you um, just the Simply Safe itself, the position in the hut, it's got to have a cellular connection, right, Gail? And you had to walk all around the hut to get a cellular signal in there. So when
No,
I'm
but that's
outside
a
the hut,
weaker signal.
oh yeah,
You should
when I'm
try it
outside
before
the
you declare it
I,
not possible. Yeah.
I have often tried to do my Wi-Fi calling outside the hut, so I'm basing it on that. That
All right.
I don't see inside the hut very well on my Wi-Fi
Okay.
calling as soon as I'm outside the hut with the door closed. So
Okay.
anyhow,
Okay. All right.
um, but there are ways of getting signal outside. So it's
Sure.
not a coat hanger sort of a I don't know. So anyhow, there it is. I discovered, well, in talking to Lenny while we were hanging out there for a bit, uh, I said, a lot of systems have two smoke detectors, and then you just have the instructions Simply Safe. You don't do dispatch unless both smoke detectors are going off. And he certainly agreed with that. Um, I didn't trust the smoke detector. I brought it home then just to sort of see if it would just keep on doing false alarms. It didn't, so I took it back and reinstalled it. And we got a second smoke detector, and I did install that on Sunday, Gail. Um, and just by chance, when I was in there on Sunday, um, the heat detector was reporting offline. So Yeah, and so I replaced the battery in the it's that little heat monitor thing. Um,
Oh,
and
the
it
the
was
temperature, the
the
temperature.
temperature, yeah,
Oh,
the temperature
interesting.
had
Okay.
gone offline, but
Huh.
that wasn't anything to do. It was just a coincidental
Yeah,
problem.
yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
I could have just, taken it. I could have removed it and added it back in. That might have fixed it, but I figured its most likely problem was a battery because that's what's happened before. So I just replaced the battery and then added it back into the system, and it added fine. So yeah. So anyway, there it is. Now we have two smoke detectors. We could give the instruction to Simply Safe that if it's only one smoke detector alarming, that they should try and reset it just in case it's a false alarm. And if it doesn't start again, then it is a false alarm. Smoke detectors, as probably everyone knows, if yeah, that they're the sort of thing that a ladybug can walk into, or dust builds up, or whatever. They do false alarms. They often reset and don't keep doing
I'm
it. So
curious. I'm curious what brand this is.
Simply Safe brand.
Oh, Simply Safe. I
Yeah, yeah.
bought I bought a set of Kitty Wi-Fi smart detectors, and I've thrown two of them away because they just kept doing false alarms all the time. It was driving me nuts.
Yes, yes, and yeah,
And it
and I
wasn't
look,
just it wasn't ladybugs. I don't know what it was, but yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
got
Well, dust will do it,
yeah.
and other things as well. So
Anyway, I think your two detector solution is a good one. So
yeah, yeah.
the other thing is
They
that some of the security cameras have a floodlight, and you can light it up remotely.
yes, that was my other insight. Exactly that. It's not even it's not to even have that as an extra step, but just to put in a 5 watt LED light,
Oh,
that's
that's
always
true.
on. It's nothing compared to what the power for the whole hut pulls,
Of course,
and
of course.
it would just allow 5 watts of LED light is like for a little hut
It's
is tons. Yeah. Yeah. So
and
no,
those cameras
no.
are real sensitive. Those cameras are real
Yes,
sensitive, so it'll be
those
fine. It'll
cameras
be
are
fine.
sensitive. It would show the smoke if there was any. So,
Yep.
anyway,
Good.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
So, Graham, if you want to send me an Amazon link to an LED light that you think would be good, just give it to me, and then I can buy it on our account.
you bet.
We
Okay,
have that
yeah,
nice ability finally to
uh,
to buy things without eight pieces of paperwork. Yeah.
uh,
Good.
does it have to be Amazon? I'm trying to avoid them. They don't like, they're not treating the world well. Can it
No,
be,
it
do you have a
can
credit
be
card?
anywhere as long as we follow the credit card protocol and that there's no tax. As long as
Okay,
those
okay,
two, yeah, as long as
uh,
those two, yeah, you can get it from anywhere. Just make sure that you follow
okay.
the protocol and we let
Amazon,
the
Amazon
admin
already
assist.
knows.
Yeah,
Amazon already knows about your
yeah.
tax exemption, does it?
Yep.
Is that true? Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I have that. I have that for UMass also.
No, okay. Well, I guess maybe there's a reason for
I
Oh,
mean, you have
damn,
to
they
set
make
it up.
everything so easy. Oh.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. It's terrible. Fast, easy, and ruinous. Yeah, but okay.
Yep.
Well, actually, they make it so easy it's hard. I use the same account. I use the same account for home and work, and so when I make a home purchase, I have to be careful to turn off
Yeah.
the tax exemption manually
Yes. Mm.
Yep.
because
Yeah.
it's
And
because it's
now that
automatic.
yeah, yeah. Well, now that I have two accounts and actually two separate logins, I have to be very careful about which Amazon account am I logged in on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, all right. So after Graham's visit to the hut about after that smoke alarm, I talked to Lenny, and I'll try to make this as short as possible. After Graham talked to him about basically the entire fire alert system at the town hall, which is in desperate need of an upgrade. Um, and what Lenny would like to do is tie in the hut in a with a separate system to the town hall system when it gets upgraded. I said we're all in. We will pay the portion of our cost for that. just get it rolling, and we'll do that. So that is in progress, but as with all town projects, I expect it'll take about a year to get that done. But in the meantime, that we have these two smoke detectors. We're going to get the LED light in there. And the third thing is that I have given Lenny a emergency procedure document so that he and his crews can get in without breaking down the door.
Good.
So they have the
Good.
codes, they have the emergency contacts, they have shelled contacts, they can contact our 24/7 answering service, who then can get in touch with any, the engineer on call at Shelled. So yeah, so he has that now. I mean, I'm glad that we found this out, right? Kind of a hole in our procedures of this, that the fire department needs access, so they have it.
It's
Would this
good
new
that it was a
system
10.
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Would this new system replace Simply Safe, or you'll have duplicate, or
I would probably just, I mean, Simply Safe is so like it's already there. It doesn't cost anything more to have extra things. I'd probably,
okay, good enough.
unless we keep getting false alarms, I'd probably keep them both. The
Sure.
so yeah.
Yep, good enough.
Yep. Graham, do you want to talk some more about our move forward plan with the HVAC units? I did get a quote for a new unit too.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So the north heat pump totally failed. Well, it was running, but it wasn't doing any cooling. And so I turned it on and off and did a few things, but had no luck. And so a few days later, PVE, Pioneer Valley Environmental, came along and met me, and a technician. What was it, on Monday? Maybe I can't remember now. Of this week. Or last
No,
Friday.
it was like
That's right.
Friday. It was Friday of
Last
last week.
Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah, last Friday. Steve and I let him in, Steve and I turned up at the hut, and Josh for PVE. I spent the whole morning basically trying to diagnose what was wrong with this unit that was no longer cooling, and by midday he kind of like he'd done everything that he could think of, and with no success. And so now Josh, is in talking to him, even at the beginning, he usually does installation, so he's not their top technician, and so their more experienced technician is going to come along tomorrow, and yeah, and I will meet him tomorrow morning at the hut, and I will find out what. Um, yeah. So, see what he's going to do. What is the estimate for a total replacement on the south unit, Gail?
$8,292.
$8,292. Okay, so
Yep. And
9,000
that,
bucks. No, no.
yep. And that is only if we can get the 650 mass save energy credit.
Okay. Yeah.
And along with the $500 off a over $10,000 installation. So
Okay.
it's 9,442 without the discounts, 8,292 with the discounts.
Okay. So, um, and he wasn't optimistic about finding a replacement. Okay, so one of the issues is they don't Daikin doesn't make those units anymore because they use a refrigerant that is now not acceptable. It's aged, it's phased out for environmental reasons. Um, okay, so 10K. So
Is that
um,
is this how much mini like it seems like a lot for
10, yeah,
I would think
9 or
something more like
10,000 bucks.
6,000,
Yeah,
but I don't know. I've never bought one
yeah.
of these, so
But do you
Price has
remember
gone
what we
up.
paid for the original units?
Yeah, that's good. We could look that up. Yeah. We,
Graham, can we get another brand, like a Mitsubishi instead, or
he
it seems
he
like
was
that?
proposing PVE was proposing their favorite brand, which was called Southern Comfort or Southern Home or something, some brand that. And I asked them, well, is that a reputable? I mean, Daikin and Mitsubishi have solid
Southern
names.
Comfort.
Yeah, Southern
Sounds
Comfort sounds
sounds
like,
suspicious.
yeah. Um, and he said,
Maybe
well,
that's
they're
the
all
refrigerant coolant in there.
right. Yes. It's pure alcohol. Yeah. A good coolant. And he said he thought that we can look it up, but he thought it was as good a reliable thing as Dakin, and he said a lot of the stuff that goes into them is made by the same crowd anyhow. I don't know, and they, just label engineer them and stuff. So I don't know about that, but anyhow, we should look at the proposal and look at what the reviews say and stuff like that.
Well, Gail, at one point we were talking about just replacing the inside unit because that's what had been damaged by the mouse contamination. But
Yeah.
now is this bid, this $9,000 bid, is this for the complete unit, the compressor as well as the inside unit?
Yes. Yeah.
And
Right,
that's
right. We
because you
want to
can't
just do the
match it.
inside. Yeah, we wanted, and they
Exactly.
can't.
Yeah.
They can't
You
because of this
can't.
coolant
Yeah.
issue that it's no longer made.
Okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah. The indoor unit is a totally different thing now because of the refrigerant thing.
Okay.
Refrigerants. Yeah,
So therefore, we're not at all committed to the brand that we've got there because we're replacing the whole thing.
correct.
There could be something to be said for having two different brands um, of units.
Diversity.
Yeah, I mean, I have two hard drive backups for a file that I really want. Now I have it online as well, but didn't used to have that capability before a certain network went in place. And I purposely buy, a Seagate and a Western Digital just so that if there was a glitch in one, the same glitch won't carry into the other. So
Belt and suspenders, they used to call that, right?
yes, yep.
So one other thing I phased out for just a minute. I might have missed something, but our current the company that we call when we want to have these things serviced. I'm sorry. Did that company make a recommendation or not? Did
Yeah,
we?
so it's Pioneer Valley Environmental, and they
Okay.
did send the proposal with their recommended unit.
Okay. Good. So that means they think they can get parts quickly and that kind of thing. And
Yeah, but
that's another thing to think about is how quickly can they get parts if they need them.
Yeah, and
Okay. Good enough. Sorry.
I asked the estimator, I said, so I know PVE is certified as a Dakin distributor, and trained installer, and I said, but you're inclined to go with this other crowd, and he gave like he rattled off a couple of reasons. I don't, but we can look more closely now. Now we've got a proposal in hand. So,
Okay. Good enough. Great.
yeah,
yep, and I'll send that whole proposal around to the group to look at.
there you go.
All right, let's move on to maintenance. We had 23 tickets in February. So generally another slow month. And last meeting, you asked me to look into the history of somebody asking for the enhanced service for slow speeds. They did follow up, and it was not that they wanted more than a gig of service. It was just an internal complaint about devices not working fast enough, and they thought, oh, if I buy more speed, it'll fix this. So
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
It will not.
it will not. And the answer is no. No matter how much we enhance your service, it's yours.
Yeah.
1998. machine is not going to get
We'll
any.
never do any better. Yeah.
Nope. Um,
Oh, Gail, just one last thing on Simply Safe.
oh, sure.
Because I ended up one of the good things about it is one of the dashboard pages, which you don't immediately see, lists all the devices and all of their battery levels and signal levels. So there is a screen on the dashboard that you've got to look for that shows everything and whether it's got signal and whether it's got a good battery. So that was nice to find that because
Oh, yeah.
I never realized it was there,
Yeah.
and number one. And number two, I realized, as you said, you've authorized Simply Safe to be able to look at the monitor. And here is from what they wrote about that. Here is when they do use that feature, and that is if you say, I've got a break-in, or I think there's a break-in at my house and I'm not there, they will look at the camera, and if they see, someone's beating on someone, or that they will expedite the police getting there. They'll expedite the 911 call. So that is the one reason why they offer the option of you can have us look at, if you authorize us to look at your video, any of your cameras, then we can sometimes expedite emergency response to an intrusion, but they didn't say anything about expediting a fire. So yeah, that was interesting to hear that.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that makes sense. That
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
does make a lot of sense because how many alarm systems falsely alarm, and that's much different than active robbery in progress or
Yes,
something.
yes. If
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
looking at someone beating up someone, then yeah, you
Yeah.
do something quick. Uh,
Yeah. Um, all right, let's move on to financials, and then we're gonna do a review of the warrant articles for town meeting because they're due next week. I have them all written up. We just need to look at them together to look at the wording so let's see. Our current balance is $98,270. So we're in good shape for the end of the year. We have about 3 more months of MLP fees coming in. Um, you'll note, oh, you can't see my screen, but I'll just say it. We did get our mid-year digital equity grant distribution. So that came through for a little over $10,000. So I submitted all the paperwork and we did get a check. Um, I got a fun email from Brennan. Do you know who the Massachusetts Technology Collaborative is? We just got a check from them. So, yep. All right. I'm going to show the warrant articles in just a second. Let's pull this up. Okay. Um, so I'm gonna send in 3 articles for town meeting. The first one will vote to appropriate 117,463 dollars of the fiscal year 2026 certified retained earnings to our fiscal year 2027 reserve fund. So um I checked this number to make sure that this is what Gail gave me as our retained earnings. And the wording is just lifted from our prior years. So all that look good?
Okay, good.
Okay. This next one.
the FY's the right ones. I remember that was the only contentious part, right, in the previous years that
Yes, I think I have it right now. I think
yeah,
my
okay.
brain's finally gotten around how you label a year
Okay, yeah,
for its fiscal year.
yeah. +1 to everything probably should do it
Yeah.
most years.
Um, So this next article is to use up our stabilization, otherwise known as our depreciation fund, for routers. We don't have to, but we need it to be a town vote in order to make that money available. So
Yep.
it just says to appropriate the 290 here. I made a note right here that we currently have 298,836 in that fund. So I'm not saying all of it, but almost all of it. And I said up
Yep.
to our broadband stabilization fund for the purpose of new routers for subscribers. I had a talk with Steve about, should we just say like something generic here? And I don't think so. I think that being more specific helps people understand what this is for. They're going to ask anyway. And there's nothing, yeah. The only thing I think maybe we should add here is and electronics.
Yeah. You might want to make it more general.
Yeah. There. Just in case, and then, like say we want to use some of this for a new OLT or something. If that becomes something we need in the next year, we can do that.
Yep.
Will that include any cables you might need to use to buy?
Sure. I mean,
Yeah.
You could say and
Electronics.
associated. Well, a cable isn't a fiber isn't
No.
electronic,
Could
technically
it
speaking.
be? I don't know.
No,
No.
there's no. It doesn't conduct.
Oh, how about
Yeah.
equipment? How about equipment?
Yeah. Equipment.
There
Yeah.
we go.
Because
Sure.
cable makes it as equipment.
New routers and equipment for subscribers.
And you might want to put the equipment. You might want to make it read, instead of sounding like all of the equipment is for subscribers, which a router is for a subscriber. You might move the equipment to the in front of for the purpose of equipment and new routers for subscribers.
I could work
Or-
it.
So they're not. So we can get equipment that isn't for subscribers, even though
or
it is
you
You could
direct.
say
Indirectly, yeah.
you could say equipment updates because it's a purpose.
Yeah.
You could also just say for network equipment and routers.
That works too.
Okay.
But she wants to put in the for subscribers part, which is that right?
Yeah.
Just so that
Yeah.
Routers for subscribers, yeah.
so
We don't need the subscribers in there. It's all part of the network.
Yeah,
no,
but
I
then
think,
it
but to
swings it
sell
for
it to the
voting.
public.
Yeah, it's going to be voted on.
Yeah.
It's nice for them to hear themselves mentioned before they
How
put their
about
hands
network
I mean-
and subscriber equipment and routers?
So actually, I'm thinking maybe we do go with Steve's original suggestion, because what if in the end we decide we don't want to buy new routers?
up. Then we just do network equipment.
No, but people say, but I voted for new routers. I want my new router.
Oh yeah, but it was only an up to anyhow.
Yeah.
I suppose so. No.
I don't know.
No. I don't think anyone is going to remember what they voted for. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that in a meeting. But
It only takes one.
oh yeah, okay.
How about just network equipment upgrades for subscribers? So wouldn't that cover everything? Network
Sure.
equipment. It could be an OLT,
Yeah.
it could be a router, it could be a cable.
It sounds
Sure.
good.
And then
Could be anywhere.
verbally we can say that we're looking for new routers.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think that's good. I think that covers everything.
Yep.
And doesn't constrain us. Okay. And requires a 2/3 vote. So I think that looks good. And then finally our budget here. Everything is the same for what we approved a couple of months ago when we worked on this back in January. With one change of, what was it? It was the pole rental fees. which were increased. So this has the increase in there. Also, this is probably not going to be this much. I checked with the personnel department, and it's not actually 3%. It's only going to be 2.59. But I suggest that we leave the higher amount in there and then just let the extra go back into our general fund. It does not mean that I will be paid this much. It just means that this accounts for the increase, whatever it ends up being. Um, so here's our budget. And our operations total, of course, matches our income total.
And so there's 27,000 and change going into the emergency reserve fund out of the upcoming budget, plus the 117,000 from the retained earnings.
Right. So we,
So
usually I like to put this little note at the end of the warrant article to
Yep.
help people, because we've gotten that question before of like, really, you're only gonna have 27,000 extra when your insurance, deductible is
Yeah.
25,000? That seems dangerous. So
Yeah.
we put that line in there.
But
Okay, that's a good idea.
we'll be in good shape.
Yeah. Yep. I think it's good.
Because,
Okay.
because the question immediately sprung into my mind, that very question was, 27,000 or whatever, is that enough for our emergencies? But okay, that's the answer. That's more than that.
Yep. Okay, great.
Do we have the insurance premium 10,000? We don't know yet. I assume what next year's insurance premium is going to be.
Yeah, we know this year's. I just paid it.
Which what I've forgotten now. What was it this year?
I would have to look it up. But it was
Oh,
yeah.
oh, 8,400 is the
Yeah.
8,400 the
Yeah,
current
I
year.
think that's correct. But let me look it up.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not,
okay. You don't need to look it up. I'm just wanting to make sure we've got enough. Well, I guess if we don't, it just comes out of that reserve. Just knowing where insurance premiums are doing right now, it probably going to be another big increase. But
yeah, although between last year and this year, it's pretty flat.
hmm,
The year before that, we saw a huge jump, and that's when we
yeah,
switched over to perma. So I'm not seeing an outrageous increasing trend right now.
okay.
There's a
Well,
big jump 2 years ago, but like we're holding steady here. Yeah.
And Gail, that first line routine network maintenance, that 70,000 annual maintenance, that covers that's the repairs and covers the things that get broken. Is that true? That
Yep, yep.
70,000? Yeah.
That's break fixes, that's new
Yeah, okay.
installations, that's any
Okay.
equipment we need. That's even doing things like buying new routers, like in the past historically
Yeah.
for
Yes,
ON,
because we've needed that, yeah.
right,
And
ONTs, it just our general like anything we need to kind of keep the network running there.
yeah, okay. And 70,000 roughly covered that in this last 12-month period, or is that about right?
Yeah, more than hold on, I can
More
tell
than,
you
okay.
exactly how much we've used if you just give me one moment.
Sure.
Yep. So far we've used about a little less than half of it
Okay.
right here.
Great. Yeah. Okay. Good to know. Yeah.
And I expect, okay. Oh, we could take bets on this. Well, maybe we shouldn't do it online, but I'm like, how much did the last fix cost? How much did the fix
yeah,
on Monday cost?
yeah.
I'm gonna guess 12,000.
Hmm.
Sure. Yeah. 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 I think,
Knowing it was like a 2-day repair, there's some after hours that were incurred, although they didn't work all night. And then they had to go back the next day. We had to have a network engineer on site
Hmm.
for part of it. So
15,000. That's my guess.
Well, if it's 50,000, it'll
15, one
oh,
five.
15.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
15. All right.
Um, and would that make it anything over 10 will make it a claim, right? Or it could be a claim?
No, no, because when
Oh,
we switched
25K.
25,000,
25K.
it's
Got it.
25,000.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
good
yeah,
point. Yeah.
we're on the hook.
Mhm.
Yep. Okay. Let's see. All right, we got the warrant article done. I mentioned the check from MBI. The town is trying to revive our town newsletters. So I wrote a little blurb. I did mention the routers that we're working on, although did not guarantee anything. I put a little blurb about affordability because I know that's important to people right now and directed them to our website in that article. So that'll come out. Steve, thank you as always for being my editor on that. Um, the survey results, thank you all for filling it out and doing it so quickly. Really appreciate it. I will send out the results after the meeting, but thank you for your excellent reviews. I think I'm the only person who gave myself fours, not fives. And um, the thing that we all flagged, or not all of us, but some of us flagged was the ongoing leadership and upgrades are the thing that we kind of like the most concerning thing that we need to be wary of in the future of how are we going to keep this sustainable.
Yeah.
So we'll keep working on that. And along those lines, good news, Andy Regan is running for Graham's open seat. I contacted him yesterday. He's going to drop off his paperwork. He's got his signatures. So I think that's great news.
Good.
Yep. Um, let's see. Just a small issue I wanted to flag is we got an installation request from a house that I won't mention publicly here, but it was to do additional installations at a house that we only had zoned as a single family, and apparently there was 3 apartments there. Um, and so I talked to Leslie in the tax assessor's office and made sure that my records were correct, that it was indeed a single family home. And so we just let the house know that we're glad to install, but we need the building inspectors and it sign off that it's a real apartment that meets all the codes. So
Mm.
they were probably unhappy that we flagged that for them. And when Leslie heard about it, she let the fire department know. Um, and also, our kind of responsibility it's not to keep these things secret.
Yep.
I had
Yep.
to check, I'd ask of like, is this still a single family home? So,
Oh,
anyway, it's the
Yep.
yeah, it's the right thing to do. They probably weren't happy, but
No, I agree with you.
Yep,
yeah,
good.
yeah. Um, okay. That is it for all of my, here, I'll turn this off so we can get it off the screen. Um, the only other thing that we need to talk about a little bit is routers, but before we do that, does anyone have anything else that we need to discuss?
Oh, routers, huh?
Routers, our
yeah,
favorite, our favorite subject.
sure.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, so where we stand right now is that we have test results from um Jim and I think a couple from Graham too about our mesh router systems. Jim's review of things so far, not favorable for the mesh
Oh,
routers, and they've really, from what I've found out so far from the research and what you all have done, is that I don't think it's a viable solution. Not only are they um, uh, the fact that they have to work in their own ecosystem. You can't mix and match the equipment. You can't add other units on there. Um,
but we're
I'm
not doing that, are we?
no,
In the
we're
testing we're doing.
what's that?
I mean, we're not proposing to mix and match. If we were to get meshes, we would get all the same,
Oh, right, right,
correct?
right. I'm saying if people have units like their own units in their house, they have to throw them all out and and
Got it.
Existing.
and start over
Got it.
again. I'm not saying
Got
it's
it.
it's it's that it
Yeah.
we can't replace everybody's everything.
Sure, sure,
Um,
sure.
but I think that's a real mark against these of that people can't uh use this router with what they've already installed.
Yeah, well, that's a concern for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, uh Craig and Graham, tell me about kind of your testing timelines on these, just for project planning.
I I tell people when you ask me to do something, I either do it quickly or it takes forever. Unfortunately, this round we're in the second
We're in there
category.
forever. We're there
Um,
forever. Okay.
no, I will try to get to it, but it's probably realistically a week or more at the earliest.
Okay.
When do we need to have a call?
That's all right. Let's say
I might
like
be able to do something Sunday, maybe.
yeah. Can we say sometime maybe in the next 2 weeks? Would that work for you?
We can say it, sure.
Okay.
I'll aim for it. Yeah, I will promise to do my best.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I promised
I
other people.
I set up the Orbi Wi-Fi 7 mesh in my house this week, and um, I I liked I it was easy to install. The mesh came up, there was one mesh unit, and it has a dashboard, which, as you know, I love dashboards that one can log into remotely. So it's one of those the Orbi, the Netgear Orbi has that capacity. I I was also prejudiced towards trying the Orbi first because Wi-Fi 7 mesh, because Netgear, when if you go online and if you check reviews, then you get reviews. But if you ask what is more, what are the whether Netgear or Amazon Eero or TP-Link, which of them have the most reliable and supported sort of equipment, uh, Netgear comes up looking better for doing slightly better quality electronics and supporting them for 5 years instead of just immediately jumping to the next thing, uh, so so for that reason, I kind of thought, oh, Orbi. So that was the one I tested, and I liked it, and it installed easily and quickly, and it had that, like I say, the online dashboard, which I could check from anywhere, So if someone, an old relative needed help or whatever, or a friend, you could get they could authorize you to look at their thing and tell them if there was a problem. So, uh, Eero 6 was the other box with a mesh, and as you heard me before, I'm prejudiced even bothering with getting, recommending Amazon. So, TP-Link, I was once prejudiced towards TP-Link because they certainly, when you do reviews, they're whiz bang, they're fast, they bring out new products, but like I said, when you look at their long-term how they support stuff, we're more in the institutional thing, where we want reliability, and we don't want to have truck rolls uh, that an ordinary consumer might not see it as a truck roll if they have to replace their router more often. So anyhow,
But
I'm
but
yeah.
but that's
Go
so
ahead.
you're saying you're not even going to bother testing it?
I'm not going to bother. Yeah, because the other thing is,
Well, then
I think it's
then
almost
we should have made
impossible.
this call before because we have the
I
routers
should
in
have.
hand.
Yeah, I know.
Right.
I should have realized. But I yeah. The other part of it is um yeah, I would never get a uh I mean, yeah, it's good that we get a router that can do mesh. A lot of houses in Shutesbury won't need mesh, but yeah, it's a good
Are there
thing.
any routers that don't support mesh? I can't believe that.
Um, well, I there would be some routers that just depend on third party extension as
Really?
opposed to their own. I wouldn't think a really good brand, but I don't know.
Huh.
I haven't bothered to look at that. But as Gail said, if we're if we do a new router, then people are going to have to replace their mesh unit if they or their extender if they had one. Uh, so anyhow, yeah,
I wouldn't tell them they have to. I would
no,
just
they don't have to. You're right.
give them a caveat because
Yeah,
a bunch of these routers claim, or the mesh units rather, claim they work across vendors.
Yeah.
I
yeah,
understand that we can't guarantee that, but
yep,
I wouldn't rule it out.
yeah. It's true, and that would be the starting point for sure.
Okay.
Um,
Well, as
yeah,
long as they have that button, um, that will enable users that's a very standardized requirement in routers and none of these three units, the mesh units, can access that. Their mesh units are in their own little world, and they're not extendable with non Eero or TP-Link equipment. But routers in general, all of them, at least all the ones I have seen, including the ones we currently use, do do support. What is it? What's
third
the
party.
yeah, a third party yeah, mesh units. They
Yeah.
may not work quite as well if the brands are not the same, but they all do that, which is one of the reasons why I think we ought to stick to offering new routers to everyone as opposed to mesh units, which are very specialized or much more specialized.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
In testing, in testing the speeds, which now I'm used to like going to these test places in the house and doing two speed tests and looking at signal strength. I found it's even just um, when you go from hour to hour or day to day in doing the same test with your same uh, you know uh, iPhone or with the laptop. I've used both. The differences that I get, the inconsistency of the data
Yep.
is not at all. It makes every test that I'm doing, my sense is this is a snapshot, um, and it's not it doesn't really tell me much at all. If repeatability of a process, I haven't found any great confidence in, or there are more things that impact the speed in the same spot in my house with the same router that it's it could be the position of Neptune or the moon or something. It's und yeah. So anyhow, I'm not as I don't think there's as I don't think um, doing the speed test stuff has all that much and even signal level even signal stuff. it's not reliable in my
Well,
experience.
another thing that is an issue. Another thing to think about then when we're evaluating these for customers is how easy is it to set up for a
Yeah,
novice?
Yeah,
absolutely.
I
That's
think that's very, very important. You know, the
yeah,
distribution of these units is going to be is going to be key. And
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, and I'm
that's the
sorry, I
most
don't did
important
the
test.
yeah,
Yeah.
did the Zoom go out, by the way? There was about 4 minutes when I like my screen just froze and I was gone, but it kept going for all of you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Uh,
yep.
Oh,
No
Your
interruptions.
your image went away and it was just like a G appeared and then you came back. But the audio kept going.
oh, okay. All right. Yeah, that was me just gone.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad okay. So
It wasn't
I
your
missed
internet.
some. Definitely wasn't the
Good.
internet. Well, we can blame
Thank
Zoom.
heavens. Thank heavens. Yeah. No, I think exactly right, Gail. The ease of setup and also, like I said, that dashboard that makes it even more useful. So and it was easy to add mesh units if you wanted to with the one that I tested, Orbi Wi-Fi 7 and the other ones are still in the other ones are still in the box, so you could even get you could return them.
Yeah, yeah, and I can yes, if we want to not test any of these, I can certainly return them. And you know, I'm just wondering, like we had talked about last time, um maybe testing some other Wi-Fi 6 or 6E models. We had shied away from those because Wi-Fi 7 is like latest and greatest, but I did have another conversation with Lee about it. And just like, you know, we didn't see spectacular results. And he said, yeah, you're not going to see a big jump with these Wi-Fi 7 models unless you increase the input. So if
To
we
the
wanted
house.
to, yeah, to the house,
Yeah,
to the house. So
Hmm.
that's something to
Yeah.
consider here is that that's when you see the speed increase. But as we're running these speed tests with a gigabit, it's going to be limited about the throughput
Mhm.
to the interior Wi-Fi. And if we're not updating, the townwide ONTs, then for now, maybe a um, sixth edition Wi-Fi would be fine. We really do need to get out of these Linksys though, because they're not supported anymore. There's no security patches. Like I do feel strongly like I don't feel like we
Oh,
can wait on this.
I
Um,
see. Yeah.
yeah, that they're not being manufactured anymore. They're not supported. Um, so
Gail, could I
yeah,
just ask that comment Lee made about the input to the house? So that's we're talking about, we'd be replacing all the ONTs
correct.
and also the OLTs at the hot, or are they already at a higher level?
I think they come in tandem. Graham, do you know if we
Yeah.
would,
Yeah.
yeah, I
That
think we'd have to do a major
they would
equipment
have
upgrade
to
all around.
they would have to replace cards in the OLT. So
Yeah,
it's a card that slides into the
yeah,
E7 calyx.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
So that would be a significant additional cost here. Very, I mean, if
Yeah.
the ONTs are what, how much should we price per unit?
Mm, I can't remember, but
Yeah, we
yeah,
were
not
The,
to like 10,000 maybe.
Oh no, the ONTs would never
ONTs.
be 10,000. No. So the thing that's got five green lights on it, the cigarette case that now turns into something that's
The
fancier.
household
Uh,
ONTs.
that,
Oh, the household
uh,
ONTs. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, those
yeah,
yeah, no,
yeah, yeah.
those are like under 200. Yeah, I
Okay,
was talking
even
about the OLTs in
no,
the
no,
okay,
but I
yeah, yeah.
mean, the thing about the ONTs is the quantity. You know,
Right. Right.
750
And
times
Times
200.
200, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what's going to happen is people will want higher service sometimes in some places, and at that point we will offer that service, and say, okay, and that here's what it will cost to update your change your ONT to the sort that is now in the library. You can look in the library network, you'll see the new ONTs.
Yeah.
It looks like it's no longer a cigarette package size thing. It's like 3 or 4 times bigger than that.
Mm.
Really?
But
So what are those rated at?
well, they can do at least 2.5 gig.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe they could probably do 10. I mean, it would be crazy if they couldn't take 10.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it'd be trivial to do 2.5.
I mean,
So yeah.
to be honest, 1 gigabit is going to keep most of our customers happy for 10 years. I'd be shocked. Yeah, who knows? I don't know.
I'm sure you're right. I'm sure you're
Or
right.
another
Yeah.
way to phrase that is I can't imagine Frontier going up to 5 gigabytes for another 10 years.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Because Frontier, Comcast. I mean, they're all offering hundreds of megabits per second,
Exactly.
not gig. And the fancy people are getting gig. So
Right.
so we're still fancy.
Yeah,
We are.
we're still ahead. What I imagine is that we replace just the routers now, and then in 6 or 7 years during our next depreciation stabilization, upgrade, then we're replacing ONTs. But for now, just I think doing the routers is sufficient, and we don't have enough money to do both right now.
Yep.
So there's that too.
Yep. So Graham, you'll be interested. The UMass IT people met with our department recently, and they apologized that the tower, because of the infrastructure, it only has 1 gig, and they're gonna increase it. I guarantee no one's going to notice, except for the heavy users will notice. But
You mean individuals only get 1 gig?
the switches and things on the network and the tower are 1 gig.
Oh my goodness! Okay,
And they're saying, "Oh, that's so terribly slow." But to be honest, it's perfectly fine, for most of us.
Yeah.
But anyway,
It's
and this doesn't have to be a townwide thing, like Graham said. As the need increases, if it does increase for certain households or run businesses or have special applications to have more speed, we can start offering that. And those houses
exactly.
can get, and that they can be like premium service, right? Like we do have that mechanism. We don't have to think of this as a one size fits all thing that so many of our users are just, absolutely fine. I'm fine. I'm fine with it. I don't need more.
I think that's a great idea. It keeps our operating costs low. Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, no, it would be crazy to upgrade everyone to 2.5 or to 10 because they're doing email.
So then that backs us up to the router question that says that most customers don't need a router that can do better than a gigabit, right?
Yeah.
For a long time. For a while.
For a while.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'd like to play out the tests on these mesh routers to learn what we can learn, and then I would like to order some Wi-Fi 6 or 6Es as the next generation, because we just didn't have much luck with the 7s. Luckily we have the 7, so we can do a little comparison here of like 6 and 7. Is there a jump there, or even not really? So I'm gonna send around some of my suggestions of the research I've done of here's some 6 models and some 6E models that I think might be good. And I will ask for your suggestions too on what we could look at next. I have an Amazon account. I'm ready to burn it.
So one more consideration that maybe we've talked about, I don't know. We're replacing perfectly good routers now because they're end of life. And so when we buy new routers, we have to make sure we have to get some estimation of what is their end of life. Because if we buy an inexpensive router right now that has a end of life that's coming soon, then that's going to cost us more soon than maybe a slightly more expensive router that has a longer end of life. You follow?
Good point. Yep, good point. Yeah, and that would be a vote for getting the sevens, even though we wouldn't.
It might be a vote for getting the
Maybe.
sevens. That's right. Yep.
Maybe. Oh, here's another thing I was thinking of is like we leaned pretty heavily because I wanted to at least try the latest and greatest on the tri-bands, the Wi-Fi
Yep.
7 tri-bands.
Yep.
And I think, we should also consider the Wi-Fi 7 dual bands.
Sure.
The tri-bands for the applications we're using, yeah, it's not
I agree.
huge,
I agree.
huge
The six
expense, little ROI there.
and
So
the 6 gigahertz isn't gonna help most of us who are dealing with wall blockage and that sort of
yeah,
thing, because
Yeah.
it's more sensitive than the others.
yeah. So okay. So maybe I don't know. Just going after 7 dual band.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to work on that and send it around and would love suggestions and really, we're in like a research and exploratory phase. If there's any models out there that you want to test, we can get them. I do have a plan for distributing these routers throughout town through a lottery system so that they're not going to go to waste for folks who want them. So
Oh,
yeah, I will follow up with.
just tell people that when they get them, we're not supporting them, right?
Yeah,
That's
we have to say
important.
you have to be self-supporting if you want one of these. So, put this
Right.
in your outer office in your barn, put it, yeah.
Yeah.
In some sense, that's what we said with the Linksys as well. So it's still true. The router ends up being customer equipment, even though we give it to them. So,
Yeah.
so it'll continue to be the same situation, really.
Yep, they just might not get great help from Nintegrity if they call because Nintegrity would be like, this isn't one of ours, or we don't, it's not
should
one of our
make the-
standards.
Integrity will always say the router, they do not, they say this is a router problem, and that's all they say pretty much. And
All right.
yeah, so, but they try and be helpful, but
Oh yeah, they
Yeah.
do basic troubleshooting and
Yeah.
do their best with it.
Sure. It still generates a cranky customer,
Yeah.
even though it's appropriate that they're cranky. I mean, they should. Yeah. Yeah.
Gail, have there been any truck rolls on the free or discounted truck roll program? Yeah, so
No, it's fascinating to me. It's absolutely fascinating to me that we that so many people said that they wanted more in-home help with stuff and we just haven't had a call for it. And I think some of it just might be people just being very accustomed to fixing their own like things. And they all at this point have kind of like figured out their system that works.
they know what they need to know.
Yeah. We're gonna throw a monkey wrench in when we distribute all these new routers.
We
So
are.
robust support time after that. All right. Anything else?
Nope.
All right.
I was going to say I'm in Washington because Limerick is lobbying our Congress people on behalf of some science societies.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for going to that
I'm
horrible
not though.
place.
I'm just working back in the hotel, but
Yeah.
she's out there.
Yeah. Well, you're moral support though, and
Yeah.
I am.
yeah.
I am.
Yeah. Well, thank her on behalf of us. That's really great.
Yep.
Very needed.
Well, good. Then I'll send you something because I got something from the same societies asking everybody else to contact their person, remotely. So
Okay,
I can forward it to you if you're willing to do that
sounds good.
or
Forward it along.
interested. All right, good.
Okay. All right, everyone. Well, look at this. We're ending our meeting and it's still light out. Spring is here.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, take care and I will talk to you all next month.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.